loves her mama, loves Jesus, and America too. She's a good girl, agrees about Elvis, loves horses, and a boyfriend too.
It's been a lousy week. It's been a lousy month, from Irma to Maria to Vegas, and we lose Tom Petty this week. Lester McLean on guitar. Full tribute to Tom Petty a little bit later on, but we continually want this podcast to be an escape from your real world. So I ask again, hit it, Lester.
This is JD's podcast, JD's Rubber Boots podcast. We're gonna sit and relax and tell you all sorts of stories. Talk about life and little sports. You know we're gonna play some games. And if nothing else, you know we're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a laugh, oh yeah, 'cause this is the podcast.
Woo, we need lots of laughs this week. It's season 2, episode 4. I got one courtesy of my mother yesterday, gentlemen. Hello, Puffy.
Hello, how's it going?
Hello, Serious Lester. Hello, Stoff.
Hello.
Stoff had a good day.
Just keeps getting better.
Wow. Stoff, you want to tell us quickly about your day?
Yeah, I was on my way in to record this fabulous podcast.
Yeah, big day for you every time you get to record the podcast.
Incredible. My car started rattling. At first, I thought it was my excitement for the podcast. I pulled over to the shoulder on the highway. My back tire was completely flat. Wouldn't inflate. Had to get the car towed, go to my parents, grab their car, come here.
Now, all right on the Highway 400, which for you non-Toronto people is a major Toronto highway.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And did anybody pull over to help? I always wonder about that.
No, actually they didn't. One time my car broke down.
Did you wave your arms?
No, but I broke down on the 401 one time, and I was actually amazed at how many people slow down and ask if I needed anything.
Well, that's nice,
on the
but not today.
400, nothing.
401, a much friendlier place.
Those
Ducking
Barry
the
Aurora
debris.
jerks.
Yeah.
They don't want to stop.
Well, they'd expect you to be able to change your own tire. That's the problem.
Do you think it's your serial killer looks? That
Maybe, yeah, it looked like a setup.
Could you change your own tire?
I could, but I don't have a spare. My car came with this stupid self-inflating device in lieu of the spare tire. And
I wouldn't know how to use that.
terrible.
Would
I
you?
have no idea.
Well, I know how to use it, but it wouldn't. It was pumping air, and there's just.
Could
no
you
air
change a
going in.
tire, Puffy?
I actually had to do that as one of my things to marry my wife. My father-in-law made me do all these tests.
For real?
Yeah, so I had to change a tire.
Was he present? for
Yeah,
this?
he was watching me do it.
He's a little bit crazy.
Did he time you?
And but I can't do it now.
Right.
I mean,
I did it again. Same thing. I did it when I was younger. But once you get CAA and you get
Yeah,
spoiled, why?
Why?
Some guy's going to show up in 15 minutes.
How could you take that work away from CAA? Let
You,
them come
Lester,
do
would
it.
you do it? Yeah,
I
we're
think
all-
I could.
Yeah.
I think I have maybe once, but not in a long time.
Yeah. I mean, that jack in the back is.
yeah, the good chance
that's
I'm
ridiculous.
crushing myself if I did it.
So my mom, my mom, when Tom Petty, the news about Tom Petty first came out, we're taping this on a Tuesday late afternoon, so I guess Monday afternoon. Like a lot of people, I thought of him right away, fired off a tweet of some lyrics. So I've started out for God knows where. I guess I'll know when I get there. What's that from? Learning to Fly, I guess.
So it started out for God knows where.
And I got a text 5 minutes later from my mother, who's the sweetest lady in the world and sometimes listens
Good
to the
on
pod.
her for texting, though.
Sheila, I love you. And she said, "Where are you going?" Exclamation point, exclamation point, question mark, question mark, question mark. And I said, "What?" And so I called her because I was driving at this
Yeah.
point. I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Where are you going?" And I said, "What do you mean? You texted, I'm started out for God knows where. I guess I'll know when I get there. What does that mean?" I said, Mom, I'm not going anywhere. It's just a little tribute to Tom. So she was very relieved overall. Anyway, Lester's full tribute to Tom Petty, and we'll talk a little bit Tom later on. New sponsor coming aboard next week.
Wow, very exciting.
Nice. Show me the money.
Yeah, we'll see if they do. Was going to announce it this week, but we got a few things to get ironed out here.
Nice.
So we'll tell you about that next week. Let's get right to the Rod Smith recap.
On episode 3 of season 2, Duthie detailed his strange encounter with a mysterious employee in the TSN showers.
Because all he had was in one hand, he had like a tube. And he walks into the shower stall,
Yeah.
fully clothed in his running shoes.
You idiots. That's just Rod Smith's personal assistant, Emilio. I get him to sample body oils before I let the ladies rub them on me. Some of them make my buttocks break out. Meanwhile, Sirius Lester's remix of Face Off Violation has a lot of extra noises in it.
What was going on in the background? It felt like one of your background singers, who was you, was making love or something during the song.
In that case, maybe Roddy will add that to his CFL panel intros. Tonight, Matt Nichols and the Bombers host the Desperate Ticats. Yeah, Roddy likes. Later in the pod, the boys talked about their most embarrassing sports moments.
Gave it a big kick, but I kind of hooked my foot, put it right over my head and into the net.
And my dad was the coach, and he carried me off the field.
We never saw anybody look behind them at the time to see what time was left in the game.
A 60-year-old woman came out of the class to come and check on me.
Sorry, boys. Rod Smith, baby, doesn't really have any embarrassing sports stories. He always wins and looks great doing it. Though there was this one time Roddy had the Victoria's Secret girls over for strip poker and forgot to wear his undies and his pants. I still won. Oh, but so did the ladies. Till the next time, friends. Emilio, bring me the lavender oil. It's poker night.
The best is he's like all like concerned and it's like totally.
Emilio might have to be a recurring character in the Rod Smith recap. Do you not think?
Fantastic.
Yes, indeed.
You have to, yeah. A lot of people, by the way, we didn't. Do we find that Rod Smith Kelsey's commercial? We didn't yet. Rod,
Oh, baby.
Rod,
It's 70s.
a number of people have pointed out to me on the Twitter that Rod's new voiceover for a commercial that he does is very.
I told
it's
him.
very Rod Smith, baby.
He was like, really? You think? He's getting a little concerned.
Do you think the lines are being blurred?
They're definitely being blurred.
Between real Rod Smith and Rod Smith, baby. Let's blur them even more.
Absolutely.
I think with Hef's passing, Rod Smith is
The
now
torch
Rod
will be
Smith,
passed.
baby, is now
Rod Smith, baby.
is now the new Hef.
Get him that smoking jacket.
Stuff from last week. Hey, Lester, we were talking about doing a theme for like having a segment called like whatever. The
Stuff-
week that was.
The week that was,
Did we do
yes.
anything for that yet?
No.
The week? All right. Well, let's figure something out in the next week. All right.
I will. I'll
Let's
make a note.
discuss the week that was. Something
I like
sitcom
that.
like that, you know?
You cut my grass, eh? That.
Okay, so I had another bathroom incident.
Oh, jeez. Here?
This one, This one was embarrassing to me and was rather humorous, but I had to laugh. Okay, so I was doing an event last week downtown at the Hockey Hall of Fame, which was the stamp unveiling.
Okay.
I've done it every year for 5 years. They unveil a series of stamps. This was the last one in a series where they unveiled basically the 6 best players ever, which were Gretzky, Mario, or Beliveau. Now I'm going to forget the rest. Who am I missing here?
Was Rocket there?
Rocket and
Well, he wasn't there.
Lou Franceschetti?
and O-Dog. Yes,
and the O-Dog.
and the O-Dog.
That would have been
stamp.
funnier, actually. Sorry.
Gordie Howe. Excuse me. Gordie Howe was the
okay.
other one. Okay, so I played golf in the morning.
Shocker.
Further story coming with O-Dog, actually, and went straight to this thing. So between the golf and there was like a 4-hour gap between the golf and the event, and I threw on just shorts and a really Roddy T-shirt.
Yeah.
I showered, then threw on a T-shirt, and then what I do is I change into my suit in the parking garage below the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Okay.
All right, that's the way I work things because I don't want to be in a suit for 5 hours. It was boiling hot.
was very
that
hot.
day. So I'm looking pretty ratty. I got flip flops, like bad shorts, and a bad T-shirt.
Yeah.
And then I realized I left my little, you carry a little bathroom case around when you go on things like this. You know, a little toothbrush,
Your toiletries.
floss, your hair stuff,
Yes.
and my shaver. I left it all at the golf course, which is way out in Etobicoke, so I was messed up. Right? So now, thankfully, there's a mall in that area where the Hockey Hall of Fame is, so I go to Shoppers Drug Mart and I buy everything again.
Yeah.
So I have a big bag of stuff, toothpaste, whatever. So I go into the bathroom. Oh, sorry, I had a ball cap on backwards too. So I go into this bathroom and I'm cleaning my teeth.
Yep.
And I got this big plastic bag full of stuff.
With all your things.
Yeah. And a guy comes in, he's probably 65-year-old gentleman in a suit. And he's doing his business, and then he's washing his hands next to me, and he's looking over. And I said hi to him, like, politely.
Yep.
And he said, son, could I buy you a coffee or something?
That's amazing.
And I didn't think of it till that second. That he thought I was a hobo.
There's a voice that keeps on calling.
In fairness, you did describe
Your baseball cap back.
Like, I was a half an hour from wearing a nice suit in front of a crowd at the Hockey Hall of Fame.
it can happen quick, James.
And I was a hobo.
Wow. That's funny.
Yeah,
That's very funny.
And
That's
it was sad to me how defensive I got right away. I was like, no. I'm just, and I tried to tell him the whole
very
story.
wealthy man.
Yes,
How will you? I own a mansion and a yacht.
Now, speaking of that golf round, had his hole-in-one. So I saw that your scorecard got posted, and you were taking a lot of abuse for your golf game.
Yeah, and have been for a week now. And so
people don't believe that Jimmy can play.
So, okay, first of all, we're playing, it's O-Dog, who, I hate even giving him credit after this buffoonery, but he's a fantastic golfer.
Yes.
He's one of the best guys I've ever played with. He's basically scratch.
Really? Is that good?
He would be scratch if he played, he only plays 10 times a year or something, but he hits it 300, 320 off the tee. He's never in trouble.
Really?
Got great hands. He's excellent. And we're playing with Mike Zigomanis, former NHLer, who's also excellent.
Yeah.
And me, who I'm okay, like a 12.
Yeah, you're a good golfer, but...
So, but these guys play off the back tees, and I was a little, and plus, I'm a little bit of a mental midget, and so I'm a mental little person, and so I was a little,
That's a shot
after a couple of holes, I'm a little intimidated, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to bash the ball and do things I never do to keep up with these
Yeah.
guys.
Right.
I don't like having 223-yard par threes.
Yeah, those are...
That's not the way Jimmy likes to
No.
play. So, O gets his hole-in-one, and I thought I did not have a good front. I don't know, like 49 or something like that, probably. It wasn't pretty.
It's a tough course, though, right?
Tough course, but I wasn't playing well. No excuse for it. So these guys were like 35 and 36 or something like that. You know, a good day if I'm hitting the ball while I shoot 40. When I played there with Pooley a few weeks ago, I think I shot like 44, 40 or something like that. So when O gets his hole-in-one, by the way, 2 times in 3 weeks.
Impressive.
I played with Dave Poulin 3 weeks ago. He gets his second hole-in-one. This is O's first hole-in-one ever. Which is amazing, by the way, considering what I said about how good he is.
Yeah.
Like, he never had a hole-in-one. And right as we were teeing off on this par 3, Zigomanis said, hey, O's going to get his 18th hole-in-one or something. And then he started laughing. And I go, he's got that many? He goes, no, he's never had one before. That's why he was giving him the gears. And
Really?
O hits the ball and says, I think I have one now.
I hit my golf shot and I said, Ziggy, this might be one, kind of, because it was just a good shot. It was, and I saw it bounce up in the air once, and then it was gone. But you can't see the ball in that hole. And we drove up, and Duthie ran down to the hole. He looked in, and it was in.
So anyway, we're walking off, and I said, hey, O, if you're going to frame this scorecard, brush up my score a little bit. I don't want, if this is on the wall for your rest of your life, I don't want people looking at a 48 or whatever the heck it was.
Which is fair.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Instead, he grabs another card and puts him and Ziggo's scores in as they were. And me, 9, 11, 12, 9, 7, 9. And I had no idea this because I was doing the stamp event.
Yeah.
So they called me to go on Overdrive, the radio show in Toronto.
Yeah.
And Noodles is saying to me, what's this about your score? You got a 12 or something? I have no idea what he's talking about.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like, oh, no, I don't. I had a bad day, Noodles. It wasn't that bad, though.
Was there a 12? Was that just a lie?
Was there a 12 by me?
Yeah, a 12 on the card. Like
Has he been hammering me? I haven't heard any of this show.
And then I get off and finish the stamp event. So now like 6 hours have passed since I've looked at my phone.
An eternity in Twitter.
And it's like, 8,000 mentions. You are the worst golfer ever. And then he goes on the panel that night and has to throw it in one more time.
Oh, yeah, we had him. He's holding his ball.
Every guy I've ever played golf with texted me and said, how did it, like nobody, he thought it was a good joke. It was a good joke because everybody thought it was real.
No, everything I saw with people were like, Jimmy's terrible.
Why would I put that down, really? Anyway, thank you, O, for that. And
Thank God you had this podcast to clarify all these issues.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think half the people that...
Yeah, they don't believe you still.
Unfortunately, I don't think we have the 800,000 listenership that is the followers on Twitter. So that was my... Let's discuss the week that was. Anything happened to you guys that I need to know about?
No. I don't even remember the weekend.
Lester, Elton Ron sent us a pic.
It was sensational.
Elton Ron, who clearly was not aware of the podcast, but Lester's now made him aware. Is now, I think, and if you didn't listen to the earlier episodes this year, Lester plays in an Elton John tribute band, called Elton Ron, and the guy actually looks a lot like Elton John.
A lot like Elton John.
And Lester made a comment about the Honeys. I don't know.
Yeah, the Honeys were a little older.
What kind of crowd is that for an Elton John cover band?
Let's put it this way. There's no Honeys under 60.
So Elton Ron sent a pic with a couple of the ladies that attended a recent show, and let's just say that Elton Ron is going to be on Puffy and my docket for shows to attend.
Yes.
We may have underestimated things.
Elton Ron has it going on.
Unless it was a doctored pic.
Yeah.
It's his niece and his goddaughter.
Shut up!
No, I'm just kidding. They were ready.
Damn you, Elton Ron!
You got us again.
Yes. You know, I wasn't actually on that show. I actually, if I may say what I did this weekend, I played a couple of weddings back to back, and one of them was at the Granite Club.
Ooh, that's that is a Mike Johnson club, I believe.
Oh, was that?
He's a member there.
So that is the big money.
Large dollars.
Was it schmancy?
It was. You know what? It's funny. It was a nice wedding. It wasn't. The people were great. And you know, for the venue was really nice, but it was just very casual, laid back. Like not like flip flops and sandals. There's tuxedos and stuff, and a lot of very nice looking ladies. Good looking crowd.
Good dance floor.
Good dance floor.
Nice.
Yeah, my band Grooveyard. I'll shout out to Grooveyard that we rocked that evening. So it was good.
You're a very modest guy. We've said this before, but at any weddings, have any of perhaps drunken bridesmaids ever, slid Lester the number?
I've had a bride grab my ass once.
Oh wow,
the bride.
The bride. How uncomfortable is that?
But was she just, funning, or was there some real...
I don't know. I got out of there, man. I just got out of there. My own fault for coming off the stage, singing.
Do you know anybody at that wedding you can look up and see if they're still together?
You know what? I'm sure that particular wedding, I don't think so, but
I don't think they're still together?
No. Sorry, I don't know anybody from that wedding, but there's quite a few people that still stay in touch, and it's nice. We have a pretty good record.
At how many weddings do people want to come up and sing?
Actually, we did the groom. As a matter of fact, the wedding we played on Friday, Mike and Adriana. The groom was a singer. He sings, so he came up and he did "In My Life" by the Beatles, and then he did "Semi-Charmed Time of Life." And we rocked that. Nice. It was good.
See, I have feelings on this because I think Puffy and I would both get up and sing if we were drunk at a wedding.
Yeah.
But I've been to enough weddings where the groom or the bride, one in particular from a couple of years ago, the lovely bride, and she sang a song.
Yeah.
It was beautiful and touching. And then she sang another song. And it's like, okay, can we have dessert now? And then she sang a third song.
Oh, that's getting a little bit.
Okay, enough. We know
it's your day.
We know you have a nice voice. It's your day, but one chorus, short version of the first song would have been enough. Also on Let's Discuss the Week That Was, the podcast getting some big hype down south on ESPN Radio.
Oh, wow.
Probably because Adnan Verk, who we talk about on the podcast often, a friend of ours, was on the Ryan Russillo show, which is a big ESPN
show.
He
co-hosted a couple days a week.
Right. So you have that audio for us, stuff?
James Duthie, who I love, he's the main host of TSN's hockey coverage. He's one of the four. He has a great podcast called the Rubber Boots Podcast.
Oh, look at this.
No, my buddy Puffy asked him, he said, if Trump was in the White House, if Trump was the owner of your favorite team.
Yes.
could you still root for them? And James is a Niners fan and says that he couldn't. But then my buddy Puffy immediately called him on it. He goes, yeah, but you're a pretty fair weather fan.
Niners? Which Niners?
San Francisco 49ers is James's NFL team. So he said if Donald Trump
Why
was
does he
the
have
owner,
a CFL team?
well, he's again American influence in Canada.
See?
So he goes, no, I would still
One for us.
cheer for the Niners. But the point is that everybody's aware of what's going on. Everybody has a take.
Wow, that's huge.
Well, we know you're a Red Blacks fan, so you do have a CFL.
Hometown team.
Yeah. No.
Train loves to throw out the shutouts, though.
He's the best. That's
He is
why
the
we
best.
love him.
You never heard of Sirius Lester?
So
Puffy or
shout out
stuff?
to our new American listeners.
Yes.
There's probably millions because of that.
Oh, yeah,
Train shout out.
they'd be Googling.
Yeah. And again, Adnan Verk at some point, and I don't really believe he will actually
He's going to be in
live.
studio. He's going to be in studio. He loves this area.
Okay, it's time for our sponsored segment. It is Fandom. The Fandom Sports app, the only app where you get to argue about sports and win stuff. Vote on arguments, post your own arguments, win fights, collect points, and win cool stuff. Fight with your thumbs, not your fists. The Fandom Sports app, available now on the Apple Store, coming soon to all of you and your Android users. I think I butchered the last line. Coming soon to all of you Android users. Thank you very much. Our fandom question from last week, this is the part where I speak slow, which is a broadcaster trick, by the way, to speak. If you ever hear broadcasters say, coming up after the break, they're either looking for their script or trying to think about what they're going to say next, but not wanting to lose their train of thought. Here we go. Should the national anthem be played before sporting events was the question that I believe Puffy came up with and asked. 72% said yes.
It should be.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's kind of overwhelming, actually.
Yeah.
Very surprising.
We got lots of good responses. I'll go through them briefly here. By the way, as you can vote on Fandom, that's why I encourage you to get your friends on there, because we will consider that in the voting. So I went on only because when you do a comment, it's much easier to find the question.
Okay.
And I'm an idiot on these things.
Yeah.
So I wrote a little comment. I got 10 likes.
That's huge.
I know, but I didn't even vote.
Oh.
No. Anyway, so bunch of funny stuff here and serious stuff. It should be played at random times during the game. Everybody has to stop immediately and figure out what's going on. That's just odd.
2 minutes to play.
Save the anthem for the Olympics or nation versus nation events. There are too many nationalities on every team to represent one country. That's Nick Hardy. That got a couple likes. That's very good, Nick.
That is a good one.
Should have James Duthie sing the anthem for every event. There'd be no more anthem controversies because all of the athletes and fans would clear out before he could make it through the
That's
second
unnecessary.
verse.
That's
Hashtag
hurtful.
sewer pipes.
Wow.
Sewer pipes, wow.
That's hurtful.
That's pretty
Oh, say, can you see?
That is mean.
fairly
You
accurate.
have a lovely singing.
Somebody else has said Lester should be singing the national anthem.
Wow.
as
Was
well.
that Chester McLean?
Chester McLean weighing in. It would be pretty comical if they stopped playing the anthem before the game and Buddy resorts to taking a knee on the opening drive. That was odd from Big Austin. Sing Bob Cajun before every game. Can't argue with that.
Good.
We picked this one. Greg Goat. Didn't bring the funny necessarily this week, but I thought he made a good point. Kind of similar to what the other guy said, but we are all at a point where it really doesn't make a lot of sense when there are players from tons of different countries playing for a city, normally in the U.S. or Canada. And the only problem with taking it out now is that all the people who see the protests as disrespect to vets and the flag are going to freak out.
Yeah, that's true.
They have lost.
That's a good point, though.
I think, sometimes we're going to award the funniest. Sometimes we're going to award things that just make sense. I thought, Greg, that is a simple argument, but you're going to win this week.
Did he get more than 10 likes?
No, he didn't. He got a -3.
Wow.
But there was a lot of minuses. There's a lot of anger, I guess, from the people
Golf
here.
scoring?
That's my point.
But please keep coming on. Sorry, what did
That
you
was
say?
my point, though. That was my point. Exactly that. There's so many teams now, so many players.
Do you think Greg just copied?
Yeah,
He
so-
might have copied me.
So really, Chester
Lasers.
McLean won that one.
All right, Chester McLean, write us and let us know.
No, give it to Greg.
Yeah, Greg, send us your stuff on Twitter, and I'll get you a book, signed copy, whatever you like.
By
And we have
stuff, you mean
different-
his details, contact information, right?
Yeah, you're just
I want a
your-
picture of the guy's
your
junk.
Twitter handle. Like last week, the guy who won last week.
Yeah. Did he get?
He didn't even have a Twitter account, so he started a Twitter account.
Ah.
And so I was going back and forth with him, saying, "How do I know this is really you?"
Yeah.
But he was clever enough in his tweets to me
that he earned it anyways, even if he was.
And it wasn't
lying.
like there was 19 people pretending they were this guy. So, hey, you deserve a book if you're going to go out and make the case, even if it was you or it wasn't you. The fandom question this week, and again, courtesy of Puffy. The baseball season has just ended, and what did he end up with, Stanton? Giancarlo?
I have no idea.
50 home runs? Something?
I think so. I tuned out once the Jays
50, or no, was it almost 60?
I think he was over 50, yeah. We're really nailing this sports chat.
We're really good with the sports segments.
He hit lots of homers. Well, I know Judge was over, I think he hit 50, which is very impressive.
I think Stanton had 59.
Yeah, you might have been close.
Could you maybe look it up?
Oh, my phone's dead.
While I do the question, could somebody look up how many home runs?
Google machine this.
Oh, God. This is.
I didn't think we were getting this in depth.
Attacking our sports credibility here. I think he had 59. That's going to be my guess.
That's 59.
Thank you.
Wow, that's a lot of homers.
Yeah, well, that's why.
But it would have been exciting.
That's what begged
59.
What begged the question.
Yeah.
59 home runs, 132 ribbies.
Ribbies don't matter.
As he chased down Roger Maris's 61,
yes,
a lot of people are saying if he gets that, it will be the real home run record because they don't believe in McGuire and Bonds, etc. So we ask you your opinion on fandom this week. What is the real home run record in your opinion? Is it still 61, Roger Maris before the steroid era?
There it is. And here is the fellow with 61. You're seeing a lot today.
Or is it Barry Bonds and his 108 or whatever the hell it was?
I think it was 72.
It was a lot.
So maybe 73. Did he hit 73?
No, he hit like 80. McGuire hit like 72.
No.
No.
He did not hit 80 home runs.
I think he hit 81.
I'm saying 73.
I think it was 73.
Can we edit this segment?
No. This is the charm.
Okay.
This is the charm. This is being real, yo.
Look up how many home runs.
This is how real sports fans
What's
chat.
the home run record? I don't
It's
remember.
73.
I don't remember anything that happened the year before.
Puffy's right, 73.
Yeah, I nailed it.
Bonds hits one. High in the air. Deep to right field. Look out in the Cubby Cove. Bonds has number 73.
Okay, so please go on to Fandom, download the Fandom app, and answer the question, please, and do a compelling argument underneath, and we'll give you something next week, we promise.
Yes.
Fandom app available on the Apple Store. How do we know that Roger wasn't on something?
Exactly.
This wasn't
He
the
might have
same
been taking,
stuff
like,
back in the day.
You know, extra.
What's your take, by the way? What's your real home run record?
Mine's Bonds.
Mine is Bonds as well.
I got to say the same thing. I have a lot of problems with all those records from the steroid era, but we just don't know.
Steroids weren't illegal in baseball
And
at
that's
the time.
the issue that I have.
Yeah.
You know, they were part of the rules. I mean,
You know what really bothers me?
Yes, 73, by the way.
Thanks, Tips.
Why did you guys already saw it?
We'll just punch in there.
Why if Bonds and Clemens had both just admitted it, they would be fine.
Way
now.
better for them, yeah.
They would have been fine, but that's not the way in America, and their egos are so large they didn't bother. So that is your question on fandom this week. Please participate. Okay. There's a couple of things this week that I got to get to. This is a big week where people are talking about everything that's wrong in America. We have a segment and things that I saw on Twitter that will summarize everything that is wrong in America.
Freaky pics, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
Before we get to that, you saw something on Twitter that there's somebody that is he's either against us, the Rubber Boots podcast, or just against Rubber Boots in general.
He's in Toronto, too, and he wears T-shirts that say, I hate rubber boots, but he wears rubber boots.
And he just walks around downtown Toronto.
Yeah, and he has several, like he has sweatshirts, T-shirts.
Have you seen a photo of this guy?
I've seen, pictures on the internet, but I've
So
never actually...
it's not O'Toole or anything?
No. He's an older guy.
It's not Bob.
Not Bob. But he's probably in Bob's same vintage.
Fascinating.
Wow. But yeah, I don't know. He'd be a great guest, though.
You haven't seen him in live?
No, I've only seen him on the internet.
Okay, if you see him live, could you?
I'm getting a picture with him.
No, you're going to get him on the show, so we can figure out.
I guess I'll try that.
Yeah,
but he might be, might not be all there.
Well,
that is
we
a
want to
possibility.
bring them.
There's a few of those downtown Toronto and downtown most cities.
Very reasonable.
Yeah, there was one at the Hockey Hall of Fame a week ago.
Yeah.
The littlest hobo.
Okay, so you guys are probably aware of this, but I was not, and this bothers me more than you'll ever know. A year ago on the Dr. Phil show, a girl named Daniel Brigoli was on Dr. Phil, a 13-year-old whose mother was having trouble with her. And in the midst of an argument with the audience, said the following.
Catch me outside, how about that?
Huh?
Catch me outside, how about that?
Catch you outside?
Yeah, so she immediately became the Catch Me Outside, how about that girl?
Yeah.
Lester, are you aware of this girl?
I'm not no.
Okay, so...
Should I be, James?
No, it's probably...
well, I mean...
No. But because I have teenage daughters in my house, that became a big thing, the kids in high school.
Oh, no, they weren't saying it, were they?
Oh, yeah, they were saying it, but jokingly.
Okay.
Like, I think everyone was... It was started out as sort of a mocking.
Yes.
Right? So... That was it. I had heard, her name came up a couple times, but I thought she had disappeared.
Yeah.
And then I see a tweet the other day that I'm going, what? And I clicked on it, and then I called my daughter, Darian, who's 16, down to the room and said, what is going on with this girl? And she is now massive.
Well, she's like a pop star, right?
She goes under the, I think, Instagram and YouTube name Bad, B-H-A-D, Baby, B-H-A-B-I-E. She has 11 million followers on Instagram. 2 million followers on her YouTube channel. She has 2 singles out that have this one called These Ho, H-E-A-U-X, has 37 million views.
This song?
Here we go. Okay, here's
kind of catchy.
That's the problem. Darian tells me about this, and I'm like, this is what is wrong with America, that this idiot kid can go on an idiot show and say idiot stuff. And then she played the song. I'm like, damn, that's good.
It's well produced.
I got to get that. I got to get that on repeat.
Let me get that on my iPod for my workout.
But seriously, how does this happen?
Listen,
that's the way it is now.
I'll tell you what, that's so frustrating as a musician. I'm serious.
Well, I think she sounded like $1 million deal.
I'm not even talking about me. Like, I've got my day job and stuff like that,
Right.
and I love playing and stuff and entertaining, and I put out my music and whatnot. But I know a lot of people that I work with and perform with regularly that have gone to school and trained and practiced for hours and hours, that are so talented and put out quality stuff, yet you turn around just because she was on Dr. Phil and had something, and this is a hit. Like, how
you
is that a
imagine
hit?
if she does like a rap remix of Hello and it goes viral? Hello.
He'll be
Hello, bitches. Hello, bitches.
Catch me outside.
Hello, ho. Hello, bitches. Hello, bitches.
Lester will be speaking a different
that
tune.
put me a lot of. But that's as long as she credits me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you
All
get
of
a lot of
sudden,
cash.
Yeah, I'm coming to the podcast in a limo.
The other song that has 21 million views is "Hi Bitch, What You Know."
White Porsche, white wrist, white horse. Hi bitch, hi bitch, hi bitch, hi bitch. I do not sniff it to roll it. Nope, it do not.
Okay, enough. Wow, enough of bad Babby, who
may
is
not
now
even be
rich as hell.
Is
She's
she,
going to
though?
be. She apparently is signed with Atlantic Records.
Yeah, like $1 million or something.
But what I'm always interested in is the origins of this. Okay, I get it that America's obsessed with celebrity, and so this Cat Mad how about that thing happens, and then somebody books her for an appearance for $1,000 at some nightclub. But then how does it go from there to obviously talented record producers grabbing her and putting her on this thing and cutting a pretty decent song with her thing on it, and now it's going crazy.
I don't think the song's decent. I think the production's
the production values are good. Is what I'm saying.
I mean, but
It's catchy.
I go to Robin Eccleston's house. There's another shout out. Go to his house tomorrow and do that.
What's his nickname?
His nickname is Boy Wonder.
Boy Wonder, yeah.
Yeah. You like that?
I like the Boy Wonder.
No, don't get me wrong. Like, listen, I don't want to sit here and take away from people and stuff like that. There's lots of ways that people write and whatever, but that's just not my cup of tea. And like I said, I know so many talented musicians that it's just like, that's what you. And the other thing too, James and Puffy and stuff, the bar has been set so low now. Think about Gangnam Style. Remember that? Not Gangnam Style. Sorry, William. What was the guy from? William Hung.
Yeah,
that guy. How's that guy famous?
Well, that was the guy from American Idol.
American
right?
Idol, yeah.
He was terrible.
And it was what was the song? It was like it was a Ricky Martin song too that he sang. Anyway.
Yeah, it's extremely troublesome, and now we've just given her 10 minutes more publicity. On this
I'll be
podcast.
definitely downloading those tunes.
Yeah, but my daughter even said it started out as a joke, and it still kind of is a joke, but that the songs are catchy, and so her and her friends are actually.
Oh yeah, like in 10 years they're gonna be like, oh, remember that time?
But just one thing, this girl herself is like 14, 15 years old.
14.
Yeah.
She's still that young?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was like a couple years ago.
That's what's kind of disturbing.
No, it is disturbing.
Oh yeah, this isn't gonna end well.
Should I be troubled that my daughter's listening to a song called These Ho?
I think so.
It's spelled differently.
And when she texted me to remind me of the name of the song, I said, I'm going to have to talk about this on the pod today. She said, Dad, it's Heaux, but it's pronounced ho, just so you know. Thanks, Darian. Really
You want to keep your street cred up.
Good work by you. Here's Puffy's Hypotheticals.
Yo, 1, 2. These hypotheticals are messing with my mind. These hypotheticals, what's gonna be this time? These hypotheticals are blowing my mind again. These hypotheticals.
I love it.
Puff, before you get to the question, I had forgotten to tell you that I ran into one of my good buddies, Darryl.
Yep.
One of my best friends from high school, who then disappeared for about 6 years and then resurfaced into my life. And he lives as kind of like a hermit on the coast of Nova Scotia, lives by himself.
Nice.
One of the amazing musician, by the way.
Nice.
Fantastic
What's he
guitarist.
play?
Fantastic
Guitar?
guitarist.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. The band, the band I've told you about.
Oh, he was in the band?
Well, he was the band.
You were the lead singer.
He was the only talented guy in the band. Not really. My other friend, Mark Ward, who will also be on the pod at some point, was really the lead singer. I just jam once in a while.
Okay.
But Darryl was he was the band because he was the only one who could actually play.
Did he write the music?
He would, we would do much like I do with Lester.
Uh-huh.
He would write music for me, and then I would write songs, or I would write lyrics, and then he would put them to music.
He was the Elton to your Bernie.
Yeah, we're going to play those at some point. Anyway, I see Darryl when I went out to Cabot this summer. Cabot, by the way, one of the finest golf courses in the world.
You were due.
I continue to do free plugs for Cabot as long as they want. Visit whenever you can. The Pebble Beach of Canada, frankly. So Darryl says to me, he pulls me aside and he says, hey, listen, Puffy's Hypotheticals. Why is he so obsessed with money? It's always about money.
It's not always about money.
The world is not always about money. Tell Puffy that it's not always about $1 billion. Darryl was very angry.
When you're living in a modest home on the water, you don't need $1 billion.
Darryl has better values than us.
He does.
Basically.
Wow.
He's simple. I don't think he has cable or anything, but he does listen to the pod.
Well, this one's for you then, Darryl, because it involves a lot of money.
All right.
Okay, so would you rather have $1 million at 14, so you're given $1 million check, or $60 million at the age of 60?
Or $60 million at 14, like the catch me outside. How about that, girl?
Exactly.
Sorry.
If you don't reach 60, you get zero.
If you die before 60.
Yeah.
Well, that would be obvious that if you died, you wouldn't get anything.
No, but some people are like saying that, okay, would my family get the money? Like, it's done. Like, there's a zero, nothing. So there's no, like, doing it for your family.
So in many ways, it's kind of a business investment question. I'm talking like her now.
Get some business outside.
Yeah, I guess there's an element of that, too.
Because has anybody calculated compounding interest on $1 million
I asked my
14?
buddies, and they were doing, I think, at 10% or something. They said
nobody gets 10% anymore.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't spend the $1 million either.
Exactly. That's it sitting in an account.
Okay, so $1 million at 14
years old, yeah.
But you have to make this decision then at 14.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
okay, so
or hold out for 60.
Why don't you start, Puffy? Your question.
I think I would have to do the 14, take the million.
Well, I guarantee you would at 14.
They say the first million's the hardest. And I'm pretty sure I could have made that money go. I'd probably be broke by 20 though. It would have
been gone by 17.
Yeah, to be fair,
you would have had $100,000.
I think I would have bet $1 million on the 1992 Seahawks to win the Super Bowl. It wouldn't have went well.
Last night you would have had $250,000 on the Redskins covering against the Chiefs.
The Redskins and the under.
How about that for a cover?
Oh, it was unbelievable. I actually thought that I had the Chiefs, and I was very excited until today. I looked at my bet, and I actually lost.
I know most people would be aware of this, but the Chiefs kicked the field goal with 4 seconds left to win the game.
To make it 23
the spread
to 20.
Was what?
It was 6 or 7, depending on what
So
you
then
got.
they kicked off. The guy took a knee in the end zone. They had one play from the 20 and
then it ended up in a fumble recovered for a touchdown the other way, which covered and got the over.
One of the greatest covers and overs in NFL history.
And Sean McDonough had a great call because he said, this might mean something to people.
Somebody!
It's a touchdown. This might be meaningful to some.
It was very well done.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so Puffy's taking the million at 14. Now, in hindsight, now, would you still take the million at 14, now that you're 54?
I'm worried about reaching 60, so I definitely take the money at 14, yeah.
Lester? You could, at 14, a young Lester, just, hello, still just a seed in his brain. You could buy an entire recording studio.
Yeah.
I suppose my parents would probably invest that money for me, to be honest with you. So 14 would be pretty good.
You'd take the
George
million?
and Joan McLean would.
You almost have to change the question, because I think all of us would take it at 14 because we'd be so damn immature. $1 million when we were 14 felt like you could retire and live life forever. But I think it's a good question in hindsight, like right now.
Yeah.
If you, let's say, were reincarnated, but you had, had the intelligence at the time.
Well, do you think you'd still have any of that money?
No, I'd take the 60 million at 60.
So you would.
What did I get? 60 million?
60 million at 60.
Yeah, I'd take the 60 million at 60.
It's a lot of pressure on you.
I feel like I've
though.
had a good road. And 14, I don't want to be wealthy through my formative years. But
it's a lot of pressure on you.
Later in life, you want to.
Because it would be nice to know that at 60 you're retired and
you're
your
taking
life
care
is
of your
done.
family.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything.
But a lot of pressure to get to 60.
Right. Stuff.
I take it at 14. What if you don't make
Still?
60? Yeah, probably.
Right. I just think Puffy's right. There's too much room for mistake, unless you just put it aside, and then you can't have any fun with it anyway.
Yeah.
If you put it aside, Lester, if your parents invest it for you,
Well, I'm not saying it.
okay, so maybe it's worth $3 million
Yeah.
at 30 when you take it, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
You buy one house in Toronto, it's gone.
Yeah.
Well, don't buy
You
a
want to
house.
have fun with it.
Yeah, have fun. Live your life.
But there's no way
Travel, see the
that
world.
million sees at 20s.
Make a record.
Sorry, what?
Travel, see the world, make a record.
Yeah. Would you think you would have toured? Maybe you would have been in a young Hanson type band.
Honestly, if I had the money at that time, I would have put,
hello, Bob.
Hello.
Oh man, I think that's about it for this week.
That's it?
Oh, let's talk about Tom Petty for a second.
Yes.
I didn't want to do this off the top. Again, we want this to be escape from everything that's happening. But I think all of us, just in chatting before we turned on the mics here, for me, I'll always say the Tragically Hip was sort of the soundtrack of my life, my favorite band. But right in there in the top 3, Tom Cochrane, also when I was younger, and Petty, who I would never, if you'd ever asked me my favorite artist, I would have never said Tom Petty, but I would have always had him in the top 5. And playing the greatest hits on the way in today, there's just so many ridiculous songs. I had a chance to do, when I was a reporter in Ottawa, I did a bunch of stupid I was danger reporter, Jimmy Duthie, danger reporter. So I did bungee jumping had just started. So I did a story on bungee jumping, and I used free falling.
Okay.
Which is probably illegal.
Did you pay for it?
Yes. Probably highly illegal, but I used it
illegal.
And then I jumped out of an airplane.
Yeah. Oh,
and I used
free falling.
No, I didn't use free falling. I used
How did you not use?
learning to fly.
Of course.
Learning to fly, but ain't got wings.
Oh,
I guess that's good.
So I kept using Tom Petty for every
Right.
story I did because
Well, that's amazing.
there was just a song for everything. And I know, Lester, you took the news hard too.
Well, you know what? It's funny. I was just out and about yesterday and happened to stop into a store for something, and CP24 was on, and there was the breaking news that he had had the heart attack. And at that time, and by the way, it's really unfortunate because there was a lot of confusion yesterday about whether he had actually passed or not. As it turns out, it was erroneously reported that he died. So that was recovered. So I mean, and listen, as we tape this pod, we're a day removed from the events in Las Vegas, and I think it was just a very hard day. So somebody like Tom Petty passing away, somebody that had for all my life he'd been around, for sure, is tough. And like you, James, I'll be honest, I don't have any Tom Petty records, but my favorite part of or my favorite time with Tom Petty is I thought Tom Petty was a terrible call for the Super Bowl.
Really?
And
Really?
I didn't like it. Yeah, I thought, come on, really? Because, they had the Nipplegate and everything but I was watching.
And you yearned for that?
No, not necessarily. But
I want more nipples.
No. But I think my point is that they went conservative. I think after that they had McCartney and a couple other things. And, but anyway, so I just remember watching the Super Bowl, and then he came out, and I was like, holy smokes.
He was awesome.
He was awesome. And let's not forget the Traveling Wilburys as well.
Yeah, it was
That first record is just fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I retweeted. Somebody had tweeted the YouTube version of "Free Falling" from the Super Bowl performance, which is on my Twitter account, and it's And you have tons of Petty songs.
Oh yeah, he's he's probably my all-time favorite guy. Like
really?
and I never saw him live, and he came through Toronto this summer, and
He was here in July,
and I wanted to see him, and I didn't get around to going. And
doesn't that piss you off?
Yeah,
when that happens.
And I saw somebody posted his set list from his last show at the Hollywood Bowl, and it was like perfect. It was like every song. I was like, oh man, that would have been a fantastic show.
Yeah.
Anyway, as we say goodbye this week, here's Lester and "Free Falling."
She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus and America too. She's a good girl, crazy about Elvis, loves horses and her boyfriend too. It's a long day living in Cedar. There's a free